warfarin. What is that?
A blood thinner.
All right. What's another name? Well, yeah. What's another name for it?
Coumadin. Oh yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's a blood thinner, right?
Yeah.
Now, the reason why is this patient taking Coumadin when they have atrial fibrillation? Meaning that the atrials are shaking around. Why is the patient taking Coumadin? When blood shakes, it aggregates, which means that the blood, imagine all the blood cells, including platelets, red blood cells, all that stuff, they're kind of like bumping into each other in here, in the atrias. Okay, the blood is bumping into itself in here, and that tends to aggregate platelets. When I say aggregate platelets, represented right here in green, is that it gets little platelets and it makes them get closer together, and it makes them get stuck together, because that's what platelets do when they get close. When they aggregate, they clump up together, and that can lead to a clot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so if the patient that's having AFib develops a blood clot, let me draw it out in black so you can just see what I'm talking about. That right side clot is going to go down to the right ventricle. That clot in the right ventricle will go via the pulmonary artery to the lungs, and now you have a pulmonary embolism. Make sense?
Yes.
So this is why the patient's taking Coumadin, warfarin, because the patient's at risk for blood clots. So we give him warfarin so it can thin the blood out. Any questions on that so far?
No.
Okay. Keep in mind that with Coumadin or warfarin, you want to assess the PT and the INR. That's the blood value that we're supposed to assess. The INR should be less than 3.0. And then in the event that you give too much Coumadin, you have to give a medication or a substance that reverses the effects, the antagonist. And that's going to be your vitamin K. And think of CK Calvin Klein. So remember that Coumadin is paired up with the antagonist vitamin K. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's what you're supposed to know. That's supposed to be your foundation. Let me know when I can move on.
Go ahead.